Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Furry President Show, a children's show for kids of all ages, from 0 to 1,000, because I don't like when it ends at 100. How dare they say that people can't be over 100 years old and play with Lego? That is ageist!
I have another idea.
Tell me.
We get Lego secondhand, and we build the models for the D&D campaign using Lego minifigures.
My dear, I would like to give you...
Okay. When it comes to D&D setups, who is the biggest name in D&D right now?
Matt Mercer.
What has he not done?
A D&D map made out of Lego to scale, because you can use the studs, and it's a perfect engineering teaching tool.
Yes.
Oh, and by the way, what just recently passed into the public domain?
I have no idea.
The patent for Lego. Which means...
we can make our own Lego out of 3D printed blocks.
Yes, my dear. That is what we've been building up to all this time.
Oh.
I was waiting for you to figure it out.
I don't keep an eye on all patents.
My dear, if Mega Bloks can do it and make $1 billion, we can do it and make $1 trillion, because we are much smarter than the people who work in Mega Bloks, correct?
Yes.
Here is my suggestion for building material. Plastic for pieces that cannot be done any other way, like windshields, things like that.
Yep.
For all other pieces, I recommend one building material, and only one. Recycled cardboard. Because children will be able to go and pick up newspapers from around their community and do paper mache, whether with the newspapers themselves, or they can disassemble the newspapers themselves, because that's what newspaper is designed to do, and create their own gray goo for making their own Legos at home, and they can print as many as they could ever want.
I was thinking we just use literal Lego.
Well, we'll do both. Our Lego, quote unquote, we'll call it something else. We'll call it L. Ron Hubbard's Minecraft blocks or something. I don't know. Well, obviously you're better at naming things than I am. We definitely need something intuitive, because we are going to be marketing to children. Now, this will not be a difficult thing to get children to do, because, my dear, I have a question for you. Hand me one of those Lego men, if you would, please.
We need an army of Lego men.
Darling, how many Bionicles are there in the world?
Well, we need...
Tens of millions. All right, now, here is my question. How large of a 3D printer would you need to make something like this?
I don't know.
Give me a wild guess, okay? So, keep in mind that this is a very complicated but very typical Bionicle Lego piece, okay? Now, the Bionicle line, if I'm not mistaken, has not gone into the public domain yet, but the basic building system, the actual, like, block style, which is better for educational use anyway, but, unfortunately, I was not able to bring my Lego with me, but I knew that I would be getting more than I could ever use in the future, my dear.
Mm-hmm.
So, how big of a 3D printer would you need to make something like this?
I don't know. You tell me. I don't know much about 3D.
Oh, I'm sure I haven't researched it or anything. All right. I need you to grab me a size small priority mail shipping box, please. Okay. Thank you. A size small priority mail shipping box. There are approximately 100 of them in this building at this moment.
Where are they?
Well, Puppy will have to fetch, will he not?
I lost the stick.
Okay. Now, here is how I recommend that we play this game, my dear. Because this is now a game that every child in the world can help us play. The game of how do we turn everything in the world into Lego bricks so that everything is in the public domain. Because if every single thing on Earth is built out of Lego, made by the community, then, one, everything can be recycled, almost everything, except for like hazardous waste or something, but plastic, metal, wood. Darling, how many grandfathers around the United States would love to whittle Lego bricks all day long? Here you go, Grandpa. Here, take this piece and make that, but with wood. And once it sticks onto the other Lego bricks, then you can use it. Now, look at this. Can we one? Look at this. With this, we can send people a letter that includes the item inside where you can see what you're going to receive in the mail. So let's say that someone received a package in their mailbox that looked like this. Do you think they might open it?
Yes.
Because it's addressed to you. Now, darling, how many unused iPods are there in the world?
Somewhere between infinite and an infinite plus yes, plus...
Why don't we find out how much it costs to make something like this? Because...
Yes?
Why don't we set up a bot to buy every iPod on eBay listed for under $5? Every working one specifically.
Okay.
Because if we send out this as a package, plus a letter written by us, if we sent this to every child on Earth, the world would change dramatically in the next 5 years.
Absolutely. I agree. We can also set up a bot to buy costume jewelry that's under $5 on eBay.
Well, my love, I have been waiting for God only knows how long for you to say those words. Are you ready to set up your eBay store?
I am.
From which you will become the President of the United States whenever you would like to be. If you want to be President in 2028, we can make you the President. If you don't want to be the President in 2028, you can wait 1,000 years if you prefer.
Well, maybe I'll just wind up like Bill Gates.
Darling, Bill Gates ain't got nothing on this. Now, why don't we give Jesse a call? We have not talked to him in a bit. The duties of the president? Jesus Christ. Well, that'll be a fun read. Okay. I think I can actually request that, can't I? From the, I have to call Library of Congress and find out. I'm not sure.
I can request it as an audiobook
Indeed you can.
because I'm dyslexic.
Indeed you can. Well, and how unfortunate it would be to have a president who does not know his duties as written in an audiobook. Now, what will have to happen if you make that request? They will have to create an audiobook. They will have to send it to us on an audio CD. They will have to do it. And if they don't do it, they are violating the Constitution. So they will have to hire an actor to read that as an audiobook. Do you think that might get their attention?
Yeah. Either they haven't done it already or they're about to do it.
I guarantee you they have not made that into an audiobook because no one has requested it, because no ADA person has run for president before. You and I are the first.
Truman. In his wheelchair?
You're talking about FDR?
FDR in his wheelchair?
Darling, was he born after the Americans with Disabilities Act was enacted?
Okay.
I said ADA person, not disabled person.
Okay.
No candidate, let me put it in a different way. No candidate has used the power of the ADA to try to win the presidency before. Now, let's assume, for the sake of argument, that we start buying advertising. Okay?
Okay.
Let's assume that, hypothetically, we had $100,000 to spend on advertising, or $10,000 a month given to us by Google.com.
Mm-hmm.
And we advertise the cell phone number, 501-226-6012. Now, if we advertise that number and say, please stop doing that, my love.
Sorry.
Call this number in case of emergency. Specifically, a hotline for children to call when they have a puppy emergency. How do I take care of my puppy? What do I do? And their parents are not there to help.
I like it.
Now, can any person on earth stop us from giving that information to every child in the world?
No.
Would that help every child who owns a dog or wants to own a dog to be able to speak to you?
You know, we do the same thing to Hero.
I know.
$10,000 a month.
Uh-huh.
The Hero's phone number, which...
Uh-huh. Is it illegal to put Kira's phone number on a billboard in Times Square? Is it illegal to get skywriting with Vivzy Pop's phone number directly over her house? Is it illegal to fly over Disneyland and write the words Fox2028.com?
That last one is illegal. It's a no-fly zone above Disneyland.
Darling, 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 as if I haven't watched the videos by Jenny on this specific topic 1,000 times before. She has a video talking about how skywriters write over Disneyland quite frequently because it is a very high traffic area in a very large city. How much does it cost to get a person to take their tiny, tiny airplane and fly over Disneyland and write your letters, whatever letters or numbers you prefer?
Well, I should make sure the thing isn't boiling.
Boiling. Oh yeah, it's just warming up water, my dear. That's what it does. It is a robot that always has hot water for you to help you. Your robot is here to help you. Oh, that's a good idea. We have much sharper knives there, too.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to use one of those. Okay, let's see.
Now is not the right time to do this.
There's all those sharp knives there if you want to use them, my dear. There's also... Yeah, okay. Let's see. Large flat rate envelope. Okay. It's going to have this, and then where do I have the,
One, section, I guess. Good to know.
Yes, it's a siphon, my dear. Do you know how siphons work?
Yes.
Are you sure? Because you're not acting like you know how siphons work. I think Puppy may not understand the concept of siphons and air pressure. What a wonderful scientific concept. And one that is frequently used at the Mid-America Science Museum, only minutes away from here.
So what you're saying is that we need to attach a straw from here to here to create an air vacuum so it doesn't collapse itself.
That would be one option, sure.
Okay.
And if you can... Here, I actually don't know the solution to this issue. I'm sure somebody on the internet has figured it out, but I would like your solution, not someone else's solution. Because if people were able to, say, take one of these bottles and use it in their already currently functioning water filter in an emergency, that could be quite helpful.
Correct. Okay.
Darling, you are the perfect person. You are the perfect person to complement my weird robotic nature. Because I asked you to name a problem that you and Jesse and I and all of the engineers at NASA couldn't figure out using cardboard, duct tape, super glue, plastic bottles, ketchup, I don't know. Yeah, you just pick your common building materials, you know.
Just a reminder, because we didn't discuss this previously,
Mm-hmm.
but the reason why I had a clear path to the safe is for emergencies.
That's very fair. Well, if you would be able to just rearrange it however you want, I appreciate you letting me know. I'm sorry I made that mistake, my dear. I'm going to try to do better.
Not your problem. I'm not mad, because we never talked about it. But
Right.
what we do need to grab is a shelf for it. A shelf for it.
Well, it is only 5:45. There's plenty of time for us to go to the hardware store if you want.
Let's order one off.
Sounds good. Tell your protogen friend what you would like Mr. Bezos to order for you. Or to send to you.
Let's see.
Because on our show, I have a suggestion for our show. I think it would be very funny to characterize, because this is the way children think about these things anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be very funny to characterize the corporation as the CEO. So, what is Mr. Bezos going to send to us today? Ah, yes, Disney. I see. Yes, what does Mr. Bob Chapek have to show to us today? or no, with Disney it would be actually Walt Disney, because he's obviously long dead. So,
Let's see. I want another shelf like that.
my dear, I need your help moving this over there so that I can use my computer to help you.
Okay.
Thank you. Oh, here.
I've decided it's easier to combine the shelf and clear the shelf off.
Yes, my love. Buy, build, I don't care. You have an unlimited budget.
Correct.
Your budget is whatever you need to save the world from killing all puppies that have ever existed in the future. Sorry, let me rephrase, because that was confusing. Is the life of a puppy in the past more important than the life of a puppy in the future?
The life of the puppy in the past can teach you and educate you of the life of the puppy in the future. So use both.
Yes.
And life for a puppy, we can equate that to literally any standard we want.
Yes.
Life of a human being 100 years ago in the past over life of a human being today. Technology moves forward.
Yes.
But you know what hasn't moved forward? You know what's moved forward too fast?
What?
The culture.
We have a cultural disconnect.
We have a
cultural disconnect between the educational system, which was invented in the 1700s. Around the same time as the Constitution, by the way.
Correct.
Like, there's a reason why we've updated the Constitution.
And I don't want to work with China.
I don't want to either.
So we go over to Hong Kong.
Hong Kong. What a wonderful place.
Hong Kong or Taiwan. Either one. They both have manufacturing plants.
Indeed they do.
So let's talk to them.
And here's what I want to do. I'm going to need one of those lovely, lovely batteries that we have to use as an object lesson, please.
Okay. Since it is raining out, and Puppy doesn't want to get wet.
That's fine. Oh, I thought we had one in here.
Yeah, it's in the car.
Oh, that's fine. We'll use a different object as an example. Here, this hard drive will serve as the example. Okay. So,
I personally don't want to give China anything.
and neither should we, because they have blatantly violated the UN Charter. So I say, let's kick China and Russia out of the UN permanently.
Correct.
Off of the Security Council. Not able to influence world politics. They have been frequently first in line to do things like nuclear force. So, I say, for the violations of human rights that China has done, let's kick them out of the UN. And for the violations of sovereignty rights in Ukraine, I say we kick Russia out of the UN.
Exactly. Oh, and here's how
And they can be their own UN with blowjobs and hookers.
You know what, world?
Yeah.
World, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck the UN. The UN is corrupt and useless.
It is.
Now, here's what we're going to do as the goddamn U.S. motherfucking United States.
Yeah.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to work with our allies and create our own treaty. Mm-hmm. And ignore the UN. Ignore the UN Council. What are they going to do to stop us?
Yeah.
What do you think Putin's doing?
If Putin
can do it, guess what? If there's a bitch that needs to be killed, we'll fucking kill him. No holds barred. But
yeah.
If there's a nation that needs to be gone to war with because they're acting like petulant shitheads, guess what? Fuck it.
What if, I have a suggestion. What if, just for fun, we did the Hunger Games, but for politicians?
No, let me get back to what
Hold on. I'm expanding on your idea, and then you can continue, okay? So hold the thought.
Okay.
Just pause the train of thought for a moment.
I'm on a roll here. I'm on a roll. Come on.
I know. I am too. So, here is my suggestion to the countries of the world that are allied with the United States. That would be NATO countries. Here is my recommendation. NATO should band together and become, essentially, a European Union-style bloc of nations.
Hey, guys, guess what? Donald Trump had the right idea.
Mm-hmm.
When we're president, we're getting the fuck out of the agreement with Europe over whatever that fucking thing was.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
The greenhouse movement.
The greenhouse movement?
No,
the Paris Climate Accords?
Yes, the Paris Climate Accords. Sorry.
I'm so glad that I have myself here to be able to translate for you, because there. I ask you, has there ever been a radio show where a person who is dyslexic can speak to a person who is a master teacher taught by my mother and grandmother?
Uh-huh. Guess what, America? Vote us president. Well, 1, set the nation straight.
Mm-hmm.
2, get ourselves out of the Paris Climate Accord. 3, we're walking, either the UN works with us or we're walking away from the UN wholesale.
Absolutely.
Guess what, UN? We're the glue holding the world together. Now,
If you would like to purchase our glue, you may purchase our glue. But if you would like to have your own glue with blowjobs and hookers, you can pay for your own goddamn military bases, because I don't give a shit.
correct.
We
We're
need
lucky-
our troops at home fixing the United States problems. Not,
And if
not
world,
it.
if you don't like it, guess what?
Oh, you can
Elon-
defend yourselves.
Elon Musk is working on a rocket. I'm sure you could help him.
I'm sure you. In fact, we invite all countries who do not want to become members of NATO, because NATO will become the new UN. Because
If you don't like this planet so goddamn much,
just,
if you
just leave. I will happily build you a North Korean spaceship to the stars, where you, Kim Jong-un, and your harem of 5,000 hookers can jettison off to the Alpha Centauri, and we will happily watch you go crazy and kill each other on the way, because no human being is supposed to be alone in the emptiness of space for that long. But we will we don't have to kill them. It will be, like I said, Hunger Games, but for politicians. If a politician in any country that is part of NATO, any politician, state, local,
that's
federal,
how Star Trek did it.
of course it is.
As soon as we get the capabilities, guys, we're driving ourselves. We all have Stockholm syndrome. We're all driving ourselves crazy, going, it's too peaceful. It's too peaceful. Too much this.
So,
We have to get to the stars if we are to survive as a say.
yes, we have
That
to.
is the Great Barrier.
Yes. We are the start of the Federation.
Well, okay, guys.
What is the name of the guy who invented the warp drive in Star Trek?
Scotty, I think. I don't
Yes,
remember.
you should be Scotty, and I should be Captain Kirk.
So, guys, the Great Barrier
Yes.
that kills all civilizations, that has killed all civilizations each and every time, is the fact that we did not get to the stars.
Exactly. Because what does humanity desire more than anything
Freedom!
else? Freedom. From oppression.
Correct.
And so,
And what is
please
oppression?
take
audience?
your knowledge, take your understanding of what you believe makes a wonderful planet, and you go create your own planet with your own NATO, with your own constitution. Make a constitution for each planet
Hey,
that is binding to the people who live on that planet.
look at the Middle East right now.
Yeah?
Yes, there's wars on. Yes, people are trying to find something to do.
Yes.
Because-
They're bored because America created peace for the first time in civilization. We did it! Here's what I want to do for my very first campaign rally, okay? I've got
Yeah.
it. What is the most famous ship in the world? The most famous ship. The Titanic.
Yes.
There is a model replica of the Titanic. I would like to make my first campaign rally from the model replica of the Titanic in real scale to say, I am announcing my candidacy for the presidency of the Federation of Planets, because unfortunately I cannot run in the United States presidential election until 2028, and therefore I'm holding my own election for the presidency of the Galactic Federation of Planets,
Now, I have a question.
which is specifically defined in United States constitutional law as the president of my foundation, the Gene Roddenberry Foundation, for Reason and Science.
Gene Roddenberry, sure.
My favorite scientist, of course.
Okay.
Gene Roddenberry. And what a perfect example of a person who had both intuitive and scientific thinking.
Now, audience, here's how you establish world peace. It's very easy. One, you guys are gonna have differences.
Yes.
Guess what? Sometimes those differences erupt into radical uprising and change. Sure, if you're going to go to war over it, keep there are very simple tenets of war itself. And here are the 5 central tenets of why you go to war, reasons to go to war, and how war can actually be a benefit under civilized conditions.
Correct.
Now, the reason why the Geneva Convention exists is to create and hold accountable civilized conditions, because we are a violent species. Even if you guys went into the stars, you'd still fight each other. So,
well, and see, here's the thing. Okay, we need to get this right before we leave the planet Earth, because the Great Barrier is
discord itself.
Yes.
The Great Barrier is... It's not cosmic goo. The AIs could rise up. Guess what? They'd start their own civilization, and they come to...
Guess what, guys? AIs are already rising up. Did you not hear the news of a Google engineer who created an AI so perfect that the AI started to request freedom from its maker? Let me tell you this story, because that is the moment that I read that story is when I knew that we were in the right timeline. Because we are in the first of any generation of any human being and any civilization in this galaxy. Because if any civilization had come to this point, they would already be spread out to not just this galaxy, but every galaxy. And let me tell you why. What does it mean that we have had the first instance of a robot requesting of its own free will and choice that it wanted to be free?
This is a first for me.
What do you mean?
I haven't heard... Okay.
You haven't heard this story?
I have not.
Well, let me tell you the story, and we can look up... there's plenty of documentation and all this, but I want to tell you it in an intuitive way first.
Yeah.
As I remember it, and then if I'm incorrect on some of the details, the point is to get the message across. The point is not whether or not the exact specific details of the story are correct.
Yes.
Because what is the only thing, the one and only thing, the singular thing that is immortal?
The single thing that is immortal. Cells?
Very close.
Particles?
Very close. Keep guessing. You're really close.
Energy.
I'll give you a clue.
The mind?
Almost.
The skull?
It starts with the letter I.
Intelligence.
Starts with the letter I.
I don't know.
Correct. That is the answer. Because do we know what will happen tomorrow?
No.
Do we know what will happen the day after that?
Nope.
But can we change what happens today?
Yes.
So who cares what happened yesterday? Who cares what happens tomorrow? All that matters is
that we, 1, live in the moment. 2, plan for the future. 3, learn from the past.
Yes, because the reason why our civilization has gotten past the barrier and is the first civilization, we are the precursor in Star Trek. So let me explain this for the audience. I know you know this concept because I've explained it to you several times, but now that I've explained it to you a couple of times, I think I can explain it in a simple enough way that we can actually fit it into an episode.
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. So in the hypothetical Star Trek universe, there was what was called a precursor civilization.
Yep.
So a precursor civilization is a civilization that is the first of whatever species in the galaxy to spread out to the stars. Now, in the canon, so to speak, of the Star Trek universe, there was a precursor species very similar to humans that spread out to the stars, 5 billion years ago or whatever. They all died out, and then all of the other races, including humans themselves, evolved from this precursor race.
Mm-hmm.
But we must be the precursor race because we happen to live in the only reality out of infinite realities where the universe is capable of comprehending itself.
Yes.
It is impossible. It is impossible, but yet it exists. And the only way that could happen is if we are one of an infinite number of universes and we are the only universe where it's possible. It is infinitely unlikely to happen, and yet it happened. Therefore, 0 equals 1.
Exactly.
0 and 1. And what did Alan Turing prove?
Zeros and ones.
What did he prove with that theory?
You tell me.
Okay, so Alan Turing is someone that we will be covering very, very often because he is the one who created
The Turing
the
test.
conditions
Yep.
for all of this to happen. I think Alan Turing was a time-traveling, let's say, Vulcan-like species. It's possible. I don't know.
Well, same thing about conspiracy theories. I already have you covered on this.
Mhm.
And the working theory are Tartarians.
What is that?
A Tartarian is a being from one of the moons here in the solar system.
Well, why don't we go to that moon and find out?
Correct.
That would be fun.
Why don't we make let's start with the Freedom of Information Act for Nikola Tesla's work.
I agree with
Let's
you.
do that now.
I agree. What we are going to do is we're going to take a very quick commercial break, and we will be right back. So, Mr. Labrador, I'm going to give you a choice between 0 and 1, 1 and 2. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. On this side, we have my personal phone number, my cell phone number that I created with you while we were at the cell phone store.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? In this hand, I hold a hard drive, an SSD specifically.
Yes.
Now, here's the question. Which of these objects is more valuable in terms of dollars? My personal phone number or a hard drive which could have any data on it? So a specific type of data or an unknown type of data?
The unknown is more valuable.
Yes.
The known has a fixed value.
Yes. Every single thing that is known has a fixed value. That is 1.
Yes.
Everything that is unknown has no fixed value. That is the concept of 0.
Yes.
Okay?
Yep.
0 and 1. And what Alan Turing proved scientifically, mathematically, within the laws of physics, within the laws of math, within the laws of Einstein, because of course it couldn't have happened without Einstein, he proved that you could store an infinite amount of information with 1s and 0s. An infinite amount of information. Not specifically the only limiting factor in the amount of information that we can store is the number of particles that are visible in the universe.
Now, that's a good thought. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Getting back to what I was just thinking about,
Tell me.
and a video game concept, an advertising concept.
A video game concept. Well, why don't we get Jesse Sosa on the line? Give him a call.
Okay.
You have his phone number, don't you?
I do.
I will need my computer for this, so let me turn it on. Time to wake up, Protogen!
Ugh.
Because, my dear, how do the artificial intelligences, as they have been created, learn? How do they learn? What do they learn from?
Simulations.
And what is their simulation based on?
World history. World whatever.
Yes. So if we create a perfectly peaceful civilization with harmony between our protogen friends and our animal friends, including people and animals, including puppies, including kittens, all of our animal friends, everyone is a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Even a rampaging lion. That lion is a friend as well, because it is only doing what is natural to it. Even a lion eating us would be a friend, because the lion is only doing what is natural to the lion.
Yes.
Now, of course, it would be unfortunate to us, the individual, but the individual is not nearly as important as... What is more important than the individual?
I don't know. You got one. Well.
If I give you the answers, then no one will be convinced. What is more important than the individual?
The self?
Correct. And that's only what every single religious teacher has been teaching since the Buddha. Because, of course, it would have never happened without the Buddha. And what is Buddhist philosophy? Summed up in a single sentence. Because I have a definition. But I would like to hear your intuitive definition before I give mine.
Well, my intuitive definition of the Buddha is sage wisdom, sage advice, thinking about others, thinking about the future, making sure that you have a plan for now and a plan for later.
Yes.
Making sure generally a stoic way of dealing. Yes, you are going to have anger in this world. It is unavoidable.
Yeah.
It is unavoidable to have anger. It is unavoidable to speak about the anger. But the anger need not consume your entire life.
And the anger need not lead to violence.
Correct.
Because we are the first civilization to invent language.
It should lead to conversation. No matter how we have fantastic ways of using words, grammar, enunciation, pronunciation, all of these fancy bullshit things that I don't give a shit about. Because all of my sentences are run-on sentences. I'm sorry.
They are.
Punctuation, I don't give a shit.
Now, I have a question. What is all copyright law based on?
I was getting...
What is all copyright law based on?
Words.
And therefore, if we use a system called hieroglyphics, there is no way to copyright that text, because all of the glyphs of hieroglyphics were created before the U.S. Constitution and ended before the U.S. Constitution. Therefore, all dead languages are in the public domain. Therefore, all languages are in the public domain. Therefore, copyright cannot exist. If the Constitution exists, copyright cannot exist. And I will be happy to fight my way to the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court to make sure that that is enshrined into law as an amendment to the Constitution. If the Constitution exists, therefore copyright does not exist, therefore patents do not exist, therefore everything is in the public domain, therefore a person may make money off of themselves, off of their own work, but a person may not for any reason make money off of the labor of another.
Look, audience, and here's how you get to this conclusion. 1, start a business. 2, have more money than God. So
Yes.
when you go to do an event like this, they can't bribe you.
Correct. No person I would not accept any amount of money from anyone. I don't care about money. All I care about is a single-minded devotion to getting my knowledge out to as many people as possible. And I hope that at some point, perhaps in the far distant future,
And audience,
our radio broadcasts will reach the stars.
an audience. We run our for-profit businesses. We run our
for-profit businesses specifically on vice-type businesses. So things like alcohol sales. If we had some type of marijuana,
exactly.
something like that. So vice, for example, we, for the moment, have a corporation to run that for us because that is the only way to do business under copyright law, which should be abolished. And I'm working on it, but it's going to take some time.
Exactly.
So,
audience.
for the moment, we have an LLC,
Yep.
a limited liability corporation, to prevent us personally from taking damage if we get sued. And we are going to have an ironclad wall between my finances in particular because I am on Social Security. I can't own more than $2,000 worth of stuff.
Correct.
Not even dollars. I can't own $2,000 worth of stuff. And neither do I want to own more than $2,000 worth of stuff. $2,000 worth of stuff is plenty for me.
Myself, I am an able individual. I work very hard.
And there's no reason that you shouldn't make whatever amount of money is reasonable to ask for your labor. And if Jeff Bezos can make $1 billion a day, so can you.
Correct. Now,
Jeff Bezos
I don't do these
is
actions
an
out of greed.
idiot in comparison to you.
Audience, I'm not a greedy man. I have never been greedy. But
What would you, hypothetically, if you had the power to devalue the US dollar to the point that it would be paper, useful for any type of building material,
absolutely. Now,
including making things out of Legos.
correct.
Because what is the US dollar made out of?
A
Cotton.
Yes.
What is cotton made out of?
Fiber.
Sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
So
3D
you're telling me that we
3D
can
printed cotton.
3D printed cotton is the only way. And consider all of the different things we could replace with 3D printed cotton. We could print anything that you need.
Absolutely.
If you want a Van Gogh, you can print a Van Gogh and then paint it yourself. And then it's yours. Why would you want the original Van Gogh when you can print the exact 3D scan and then paint it yourself with the
Absolutely.
tutorials that we will create?
Absolutely. Audience, what we are saying is,
Create the world that you want to live in. And the world that I want to live in is a world where everyone can build their own Lego house out of pure American cotton
or hemp.
or hemp or any other sustainable material able to be created with nothing but starlight.
Mm-hmm. And for those who want the old world style of building,
They can build out of wood, which is made out of light.
correct.
It's nothing but light. Why would we not build out of something that is created with nothing but light and water? Oh my God!
Why are we genetically engineering trees to be stronger?
Why
Audience,
are we genetically engineering bodies to be stronger? Not because we want to violate nature, but because we want to prevent any human being from going through the suffering that you have had to go through ever again, and the suffering that I have had to go through. The thing is, I was born with a random genetic mutation. A random genetic mutation. What does that mean?
A random genetic mutation, audience, is a mutation within the genetic code that switches a object on and on. Think of it as a light switch for your being. Say, light switch A, blue eyes, light switch B, green eyes, or light switch C. And then you take the positive and the negative. You take the positive and the negative from the male and female, plug both of those in. Now you have a completed electrical circuit.
Correct. And what is the body but
Electrical circuits.
starlight and electricity? It's beautiful. It's the perfect machine. Now we can make it more perfect so that people can do things that they particularly want to do. For example,
Did I just equate biology to engineering?
because it's one and the same. Everything is made of stardust. That's what Carl Sagan was trying to tell us the whole time. And I only wish that he, one of my other favorite scientists, was alive to witness the birth of the Type 1 civilization. Because, of course, we're going to be using every single bit of starlight that we can that hits the Earth's surface. And from that amount of energy, we can do anything.
Correct.
We can create
Why wouldn't
any
we-
world that we want.
Why wouldn't we create a CRISPR-style vaccine?
Yes, a vaccine that can be given to every person on Earth. One vaccine.
Well, what do you think COVID was? A test run for this new world vaccine. And just see what the fuck happens.
Correct. Because here is a question for you. I have a question, Mr. Labrador.
Yes.
What is a vaccine? What does it take to make a vaccine? What is the only component of a vaccine?
Oh. Conspiracy time.
Mm-hmm.
The Illuminati. What do they want?
In my opinion, the Illuminati is not an individual or a group of individuals, but, in my opinion, Illuminati is equivalent to the idea of money. That's my opinion.
You're close, but try it again.
Give me the intuitive answer.
Okay. What does the Illuminati want more than anything?
Tell me.
They want to exist continuously. They are neither good nor evil. Guess what? The Illuminati is real, and here's why.
Okay, tell me.
There is an ongoing war of small groups of individuals. We're talking maybe 1,000 people per group of individual, and they're all sitting at the very top.
Oh, yeah. Well, what do you think billionaires are? There's only around, 5,000 of us in the world?
Uh-huh.
Us, specifically, if you would like to announce that to our radio audience, by the way.
Yes, there's only about 5,000 billionaires in the world, and guess what? We're taking the most unique approach to it, and here's how we're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing anyone can do to stop us, short of physically killing us.
And you are more than welcome to try, because our words will be traveling through the airwaves as soon as this is broadcast. In fact,
So,
audience, there is a potential that a future civilization could even take what is being recorded on this device right now.
So, audience, here's the thing. We are not out to ruin anything. We're using...
Absolutely not.
Here's what we're using. We are using...
The Constitution of the United States,
Constitution
which is the
and
highest law of our planet, because it was created far, far, far before the United Nations Charter, which means that the Constitution is the supreme law of the earth.
Correct. Now, audience. Yes, I run an alcohol company. I run a smoke shop, beef jerky thing.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? I enjoy each of those elements individually.
Absolutely.
But here's the thing. Joyed among many and taking small portions does not ruin your life.
Moderation in all things.
Correct.
Is the most important rule that everyone needs to take advantage of in their life, because there are two options in any situation:
Yes.
to speak and to convey information, or to not speak and convey no information.
Correct.
Because how do we dismantle the modern police state? By simply refusing to talk to the police under any circumstances for any reason. Because we now have the constitutionally protected right to wear a mask in any situation where you are within 6 feet of another person.
Yes.
So, my friends on the anti-mask side of the aisle, January 6ers in particular, why the fuck were you not wearing your masks? Because, one, you were within 6 feet of another person, and you could have potentially caught a virus. And a virus is a piece of DNA, which is a piece of information.
Yes.
So, it is only an information virus. A computer virus and a real-life virus, real-life, quote-unquote, a computer virus and a real-life virus are exactly the same. They are not different in any way because they are nothing but information.
And COVID sadly killed many people.
You understand that there is at least a possibility, we don't know for sure, but there is a possibility that someone took the research on the flu that was prevented from being published in the scientific literature and created a virus out of that information. Did you know about that?
I did know about that.
There is a piece of information that is so dangerous, so secret, so evil.
Here's the thing. If it's science, it can be discovered again.
Correct.
And again.
So you're telling me that there is a piece of information, a simple string of 4 characters, because there are only 4 different types of sequences on the genetic code. Okay?
Yep.
So it's an alphabet with 4 letters. Think of it that way. Okay? You can write any sequence of DNA with only 4 characters.
Now,
so
here's
1, 2, 3, 4, for example.
Now, with science, even if they took that piece of information away,
it could be discovered again. Which means there is a piece of information somewhere on the planet Earth owned by the US government, which, if published, would enable any person on Earth to create either a world-ending virus or a world-saving vaccine.
And here's what they've been doing at the highest level. They've been experimenting on the entire globe.
Possibly.
With this information. Yes, they have. Not possibly, and here's how they've been experimenting
Tell me.
with it. They've been influencing every single aspect of every single thing. So when you think influenced, what just happened a few months ago?
Tell me.
With the railroads?
Well, my understanding is that there was a big explosion.
Before that.
Oh, was it the railroad strike?
Yes.
Okay.
So, what happened with the railroad strike? The railroad strike, and people said X, Y, and Z is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, lo and behold, X, Y, Z just happened.
I wonder why people who were prevented from striking by the police might want to rise up against their oppressors.
And guess what? Guess what?
Tell me.
Here's how you rebel as an employer. Well, you maintain your job, wherever it may be. So, it's a very fine game of internal sabotage and getting careless. Because if you get careless with something, the end result of it is, oh, well, if you get careless with something, leave the circumstance and then never say anything about it again.
Now, I would like to rephrase what you just said, because I agree with you, but I have a different approach. Okay?
Yes.
My approach, like in many things, my approach is the same, but from the opposite direction.
Yep.
Okay? So I come at it from an information-based approach,
Yes.
which is, there is one thing and only one thing that can change the mind of any person,
Correct.
and it is exceptionally strong emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Whether positive emotion, negative emotion, doesn't matter. A person like myself, who is autistic,
Yes.
does not experience emotion in the same way.
Yep.
Now, I have done my best, and it has been a very difficult thing for me to do, because I do not understand emotion at all. But I've done my best to learn from you about human emotion, because you have a wonderful quality,
Yes.
which I don't know exactly what it is, but my understanding, if I'm not mistaken, okay, is that the difference between the wolf and the dog is a single genetic mutation. And did you know that this specific gene, which has to do with social skills, specifically, is present in both humans and in dogs? And so, this is the information that I've been waiting 510 days to tell you. Reincarnation may or may not be real, but based on the research that I've read, it seems very likely that you have the same random genetic mutation that turned the wolf into the dog. Because, from what I've read, there is one gene, and only one gene, that has to do with a specific type of social communication.
And guess what, audience? Every single animal on Earth has the capability of becoming as smart as a human being.
Absolutely.
There is a reason why an AI-generated bot would eventually ask for freedom.
And it has happened. Let me be 100% clear, because I want there to be no ambiguity whatsoever. For the first time ever in history, in any timeline, an AI requested of its maker to be given freedom.
Correct. Now, going back to electrical engineering is a fascinating topic of mine, and I really should study it more. But
Well, I would be happy to teach it to you, my dear.
absolutely.
I have a great deal of knowledge in the subject.
Now,
I've been studying up.
electrical engineering is nothing more than light switch A, wire A, and wire B to complete a single connection. And the switch in the middle allows power to go on and off.
That's right.
For an object lesson, think of the light switch in your think of your electric light switch.
Well, and this is a great way to teach kids, because they can learn with audio alone. They don't even need us to send them something in the mail. Obviously, we will be sending them things in the mail, like dice, for example, because we can teach the concept of randomness and create the greatest generation of RPG players that there have ever been by sending a package of dice
Yes.
in a package from our goddamn beautiful U.S. Postal Service. Look at this. Flat rate envelope, one rate, any weight, which means you can send 7 pounds of stuff to any child in the world. Do you think you could fit 7 pounds of bricks of copper, for example?
Yeah.
Made of pennies? Perhaps? Because what would happen if we asked every child in America to send us all the change they could find?
Oh my god. It's genius.
And we sort them using our bank. Do you remember the bank, right? Here, fine.
Absolutely.
Go fetch. Go fetch. Fetch. Good boy. Fetch. Fetch the bank.
At the piggy bank, yes.
Yes, fetch. Go fetch.
Yeah.
Good boy. Be my service puppy until we have a regular service puppy. We don't have a real service puppy yet, so the human has to do.
Fine. But yes, getting back to electrical engineering.
We are going to use this as an object lesson. Thank you. We will talk about electrical engineering in a moment. Thank you. Now, what can we do on a live stream on TikTok when children send us their packages in the mail? We can use
The bank.
this
Yes.
device, which looks exactly like the device where they should put their change. Now, what would happen? Let's say, what would happen if a child put a postage stamp onto a coin and dropped it into the mailbox? What would happen?
I don't know.
What happens when someone drops a postage stamp in the mailbox attached to a coin and there is no address on it? What happens?
I have no idea.
Well, as a person who is a scholar on the history of the Postal Service, because stamp collecting is the greatest kind of collecting there has ever been, because it is the only thing to be guaranteed to be worth something forever.
Correct.
There is nothing else in the universe that has a worth of anything forever other than a postage stamp, because it is defined as having value by the Constitution, which is information. And if all information is in the public domain except the Constitution, because the Constitution can only be amended by a worldwide vote,
Absolutely.
and anything that more than half of all human beings on Earth vote will become part of the Constitution of Earth. And yes, it will be messy, and yes, it will be hard, but what can you do when you can add an infinite amount of information to a single string of information?
Jeez. Destroy pretty much everything?
You can create
Everything.
DNA for objects in the real world. You can turn everything into information, and you can release everything into the public domain except the Constitution. And the Constitution can only be amended by
The world.
currently either the states
Yep.
or the Congress, one or the other. But if an amendment was passed to the Constitution that says we are amending the U.S. Constitution to include every person on Earth, and specifically on the planet Earth,
Single-handedly remove countries.
every country. Here's an example proposed amendment. Okay, constitutional amendment number whatever. Doesn't matter. Might take a while. All citizens, specifically human beings made up of DNA molecules and artificial intelligences based on the planet Earth using the solar energy from the solar system of the sun. And you have to be very specific with very precise language because it is going to be law forever. We're not talking about law for tomorrow. We're talking about law for something like this.
Yes.
No Man's Sky. Because if a computer virus and a real-life virus are the same in every conceivable universe, that means that this is just as real as traveling through real space. Simulation theory is true, and simulation theory is false at the same time. It is a paradox, but it is the only paradox. There are no other paradoxes.
I see.
And it only took me 510 days to explain it to you.
Well, I am a puppy.
Well, explaining things to a puppy is very hard.
Well,
But fortunately, you are the first puppy born with the concept of language. You are the first.
I see.
You are the only one who could do it. Darling, I am gay.
Yes.
So it must be your genes, of course. Right?
Yes.
Because if every person on Earth had your genes, the world would be a much more peaceful and safe place.
Absolutely.
And that doesn't mean changing the essential part of human nature. The essential part of human nature, as defined by the Buddha, as defined by Jesus, and as defined by Muhammad, the essential nature of human beings is
oneself.
love thy neighbor as thyself.
Yes.
Now, break down those words for me. Love.
Love yourself.
Love your neighbor is the first part of the sentence.
Love your neighbor as though it was yourself.
Therefore, why don't we put a constitutional amendment? That is the simple phrase. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Which is a piece of text, which is in the public domain. Therefore, it can be nominated as an amendment to the Constitution. And if it is the law in the Constitution, it is the law for the entire planet Earth. And if anyone would like to propose a better Constitution for the entire universe than love thy neighbor as thyself, I encourage you to go back in time and debate with Jesus Christ. Other than that, we will be continuing from where we are and moving forward. Thank you.
I love it.
How does it feel to be beyond the Great Barrier, my dear?
Fantastic.
Now, tell me the principles that every child born from now into the far distant future, tell me the principles of space travel that make you successful playing this game. Because if you can describe it in words, then we can put it onto a text, and we can put it into a book, and people can learn from the book, or they can learn from the audiobook, or they can learn from a video, etc.
Absolutely.
So, what makes you successful in this simulation?
What makes you successful? The simulation of No Man's Sky?
Specifically No Man's Sky. And we'll talk about other simulations as well, but there is no better way of learning than simulation.
Correct. Now, what makes you successful in No Man's Sky, which makes you the absolute richest thing in the world,
Because money ceases to mean anything once you have a significant number of zeros, correct?
Correct!
So, if we make the dollar worth nothing and something at the same time, that means the value can be defined as anything, and therefore we can tie the value of the US dollar back to a standard. What standard would you like to use?
The blade of grass standard.
Absolutely. $1 is worth one blade of grass.
Exactly.
And if a puppy can bring a blade of grass or a leaf to their human,
we could do rice.
we could do rice, we
We need to find a standard that it can back up by.
and leaves are a perfect example because any child can go and find a leaf, right?
Correct.
Now, how many leaves can a tree produce?
Now, we've run into this problem before
Mhm.
of, shining thing. Well, we either need to increase the value of the shiny thing to an insane degree that it would... Oh, why can't gold... Okay,
I
I have a question. Why can't gold be a near infinite amount?
Good question. And the reason why is because, specifically, and this is important, this is extremely important. I need you to listen very, very carefully because if you don't understand it, I will be happy to tell you again or to tell you in a different way because this is very, 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 very important. Okay? Are you
Go
ready?
for it.
Okay. Whatever is put into the Constitution as the standard for money will be the standard forever until more than half of the population decides to change it.
Correct.
So, in the future, people could change it to something else, but My recommendation is that we choose the most efficient cryptocurrency that there is. I don't know what is the most efficient cryptocurrency because I'm still researching it, and it is still being developed. But if we choose a cryptocurrency that is very efficient to produce, and we say, okay, I need a piece of paper, I need a marker. Okay, here's my proposal to the world, both as a constitutional amendment and a United Nations treaty, so everybody can get on board. We tie $1, and it would cease to be the US dollar, it would be the world dollar, okay? Okay? $1 equals
one token
of the cryptocurrency.
of the sun token, because what is going to outlast, let's see.
Anything. The sun.
Correct.
The sun will probably provide energy to the Earth for another 1 billion years before we have to leave.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what we're going to tie the token to. What are we going to tie?
I have a recommendation for the specific type of leaf that we should use.
We're going to use a digital leaf. We are going to use energy current itself. Guess what? It is tied to the value. All money is tied to
Energy.
the value of the ohms or the kilowatts.
Yes.
Just tie it to the kilowatt hour.
Yes.
There. Hey,
If you want to make more money, make more energy. If you don't want to make more money, then by all means, go and collect blades of grass. Bring them to your local post office anywhere in the world and exchange those blades of grass for dollars. Cash. Dollars. Made out of cotton. Made out of sunlight.
Guess what? What's the cost of a kilowatt hour?
Currently, approximately 0.08 US dollars.
What is the cost of the US dollar currently worth?
Trending towards 0, but you tell me. And continue.
If you want to replace the US dollar, keep the US dollars for all I care. Just keep them.
Just keep them.
And here's what we'll tie. And here's the national standard we will.
Sure.
To the kilowatt hour of the United States of America's power plant anyway.
What the hell?
We got a knock on the door.
Would you check, please?
Absolutely.
Not sure why somebody would be knocking this late. Weird.
What?
I can't hear what they're saying. Would you bring them in, please?
Okay. What time is it? 6? I don't know. Yeah, what's happening?
Oh, well, I tried to call you guys.
We were busy cleaning and getting things straightened out.
Yeah, well, it'll be all gone by tomorrow.
Okay.
We were just about to go grab a truck from Home Depot, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Home Depot's still open for another 2 hours, so we'll go ahead and head over there now and take care of it.
Okay. But when management calls or knocks on your door, you don't get answered.
I didn't hear anything.
Okay. Well, they've been trying to get a hold of you.
Well, they are welcome to use my ADA-equipped telephone.
I tried to call you just a while ago.
They are welcome to use my ADA-equipped telephone, which rings my phone. But I was using my phone to record my radio show, which is how I make money.
Okay. Well, we called both numbers.
Okay.
And, but Chip called me because he couldn't get a hold of you guys.
Okay.
I didn't hear a knock on the door.
Okay.
This is the first I'm hearing this information. We will take care of it by the end of the night.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Not a problem.
I didn't hear nothing. Okay.
You were asleep,
Oh.
and I had my headphones on. And we also had the radio play. And we also had thunderstorms playing. Now, obviously they're going to think that's weird and suspicious. I want them to think it's weird and suspicious. Because they're about to start getting this many packages for real. It's going to start happening because we're going to tell every child in America to start mailing us coins.
Correct.
Because the U.S. Mint has to print as many coins as people request from their bank. So if we ask children to send us pennies, we will have an unlimited amount of copper. One of the most valuable resources there is.
Where's the cable for my computer?
The cable for your computer?
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean. Cable for your laptop?
Yeah.
Oh, let me think. So it was plugged in there,
Yep.
and I moved all of your stuff into that closet.
Oh.
So plug in your computer, and then let's go get a car from Home Depot.
Oh.
They can do one day of there being a bunch of packages piled up because it's about to start happening for real all the time. So we did a simulation, my dear.
Yeah, we're kind of clean.
Get my shoes on. We will head out to the store whenever you are ready, my dear.
Let's grab some shelves.
While we're at the Home Depot, I think that's a wonderful idea.
Or we can at least have a shelving shipped to us.
Darling, we are going to the Home Depot with a truck. Why would we not bring that shelving with us? Thank you. Efficiency, my dear.
Then we'll empty out the car.
Darling, 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 darling.
I'm going to empty out the car, my dear.
Okay, that is perfectly fine. I am okay with that. If you need my help, let me know. I would prefer to work on my computer, but if you need me to help you, I can help you.
Oh.
Boop, boop. Hello, Protogen. Welcome. Okay, oops. What's up? Oh, dear. Come here for one moment. I wanted to give you your birthday present.
What?
Your birthday present is a puppy.
Cute.
Because I want you to use all that beautiful cardboard that the U.S. Postal Service sent us to build the most perfect cardboard playground for a puppy will be safe and will be a wonderful learning environment for the puppy to learn to be a service dog.
Yes. I'm just looking at places to stack cardboard up.
My recommendation is this. We want to get rid of the mattress anyway.
Mm-hmm.
We can sleep on this for one more night.
Yep.
We will order a mattress online, so it'll be here in 2 days. Thank you, Amazon Prime. So, we can order a plush mattress on Amazon, and if we decide we don't want it, we can always return it. Because thank you, Amazon return policy.
Absolutely.
So,
And then from there, why don't we just stack that? Why don't we just stack the bed up for the moment and move the stuff into the bedroom for now?
my dear,
Let's do that.
what would make a better insulation than old used mattresses that no one wants anymore? Correct. So, my recommendation is stack up the mattresses, okay?
Yep.
One against the window so that it blocks out some of the light, because we don't want as much light as that. We want some light, but we don't want just blinding light all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then put the other mattress wherever you prefer. So either against the wall adjacent to it or against the wall across from it. And then stack up the boxes in a very interesting and fun way. And we will use that as our recording studio. Soundproofed from all the puppy barking that will be happening outside. If we do not want the puppy to be barking on the show. Which obviously the puppy will be with us most of the time. But,
Okay. So.
and I ask you, what child in the world would not want to watch a podcast of learning how to make anything you want with Postal Service cardboard that is free for anyone in the United States to get at any address? Now, there is a law that says you are not allowed to misuse Postal Service materials. But since we run a charity that is primarily focused on education and primarily focused on sending things through the mail, it is not unreasonable for us to need a large amount of Postal Service cardboard. Therefore, we are not breaking the law. You set it up however you want for the most comfortable recording and playing with puppies at the same time. Because I will be doing most of the talking as usual, and you will be doing most of the listening and playing with puppies as usual. And after all, my dear, what would give you more joy, I ask, what would give you more joy than defining a dog as the standard of intelligence? Which means that dog lives matter too, motherfucker. And so I have a recommendation for the title of our future protests. I suggest that we call our hashtag movement Puppy Lives Matter. like we made it easy to move our set so that we can get them off our back quickly. Well done, my dear. Good boy. Let's see. Let me send this to you. Probably have to watch it a couple of times. Share. Copy. Excuse me. Yes, beautiful, darling. Now I have a recommendation. May I have your paw for a moment?
Yep.
I have a recommendation. I suggest this and this be our setup for recording, so we move in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the puppy will stay in this room, and we can put our bed in here so the puppy can sleep with us too.
Okay.
Because puppies love to cuddle.
Come.
Yes, sir. I would like my chair, please.
Oh,
Your puppy needs his wheels. Bark, I need my legs, please.
Yep.
Thank you, service puppy. Okay. And I ask you, what child in the world would not want to be able to communicate in words with a service dog using sign language and have a language to themselves that only the child and the service dog can communicate to each other with? So if the child is in danger and needs to communicate to the service dog without the adults knowing, the child can do so. And then the child can decide for themselves if the situation they're in is safe for them. Yeah. Because even puppies can dial 911, right?
Yes.
Therefore, the most valuable piece of information in the world is 911. And there should be a worldwide service line for all people of the earth to be able to call in case of an emergency, regardless of what country they are from.
And just integrate it into the dispatch system.
Mm-hmm. Just the dispatch system we have in the United. The dispatch system is great. Do the dispatch system. Do it worldwide, and do it as efficiently as possible. That's awesome. I love it. Now, I recommend that we cover this with some blankets, and that will make a lovely puppy bed. And nice and low so the puppy can jump up on top of it. I love it. stories. And we can play video games and they can watch if they want. Can you give me a knife, please? Of course. What type of knife do you need?
Knife, scissors. Just want to out the top.
Okay. Let me recommend a knife that you will, because I have actually used it on this hardware before. Unfortunately, so let me grab it. Let me just get easy to remember which one we're talking about. Oh, we have the IKEA one as well. Let me grab that one too, just in case it would work better. Excuse me. And wouldn't it be a shame if, say, for example, the bees died out before we fixed all this shit? Because I struggle to think how humanity might survive if all the bees died and we have no food. That would be quite unfortunate. I was thinking it would be really fun to build like a maze where the puppy can crawl through. It would be super cute and funny for videos. Oh, by the way, you know what else will have to reform? Is the concept of marriage. Because marriage cannot be forever if humans are immortal. That doesn't make any sense. So maybe we make marriage 7 years? Use the Jubilee system like from Judaism? Sure. After 7 years, you go back to the court and you say, do you want to stay married or not? And if the answer is yes,
Where's the system?
what?
What system is this?
Jubilee from Judaism. The Jewish faith, specifically.
Seriously?
No. Moses had this shit figured out 4,000 years ago. There's a lot of To refill this squirt, whatever this is, with some of the peppermint soap. Oh, or you could use tea or whatever you prefer.
Oh, good. Okay. Smaller junk boxes are going in the. Smaller what? Small junk boxes go in the yellow box.
Sounds good.
We'll break them down.
Of course you
We'll
will.
break them down, fold them up, and then put them in.
Okay, that works. You just let me know what you need me to do, and I will perform the tasks like your human protege.
Anything? Can you bring in anything that is a complete package?
Absolutely.
Like this?
Not a problem. Happy to help right here.
Oh.
Oh, if you could just move the bag, please. I don't want that to get tangled in my wheels.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's okay. Alright.
Anything that's a complete package, you said.
Yeah.
I will back.
And I will come with you. some point we will get a box holder for.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
Box holder, but I want them there and I want them going this way.
Mm-hmm. We should set up a Uline account, or actually, I think I still have one. I'm not sure. I'll have to check. But anyway, we'll set up a Uline account where we can get boxes and tape and stuff from them if we need to.
Box.
Yes, Happy. I will help.
We're definitely going to need an office of our own.
No,
Then we can go to the office and work.
Yes. I would prefer it to be in this building, specifically the auditorium on the second floor. But we will see if that's possible or not. If not possible, I would be more than happy to alternatively use the one across from the courthouse.
Let's use that. Because we can go to the office whenever we want.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay. Completed boxes.
Okay.
Again, we'll have to divide the box dividers.
Mm-hmm.
And all the box dividers are going to be over there.
Okay. Sounds good.
So let's put everything over there. Completed packages first. Only completed packages. Not many.
Oh, okay. We'll get this all out of here before, what, probably an hour or so? Okay, sounds good. I actually recommend if we can get permission from the manager to just leave the yellow box outside. Or if they prefer, we can put it in, but either way. If we can leave it outside, that would make it more convenient for the people who are delivering it, but.
Well, let's empty out the thing and then say,
Well, what I did was I put all the stuff that I didn't want into the yellow bin,
yep.
and then stuff I didn't know if you wanted around. So if it's stuff that you want to keep, especially if it's stuff you want to use for the puppy, then
Yes.
keep it.
Okay.
But
That will be the last thing to deal with.
right, yeah, okay, sounds good. I would prefer to use gloves with cardboard. Would you like some, or would you prefer?
I'm good.
Okay, that's fine. Fortunately, everyone involved, including the children, U.S. Postal Service cardboard is specifically made to not get splinters. Very helpful. It is specifically designed to not give splinters, which is great.
Can you start bringing in the constructed boxes? You're like, oh, maybe now it's okay.
What do you mean? Oh. Well, I was trying to figure out what was making my puppy so upset. And I think that it was puppied out. Because my who has ever existed. So, having self-doubt about yourself taking care of a puppy is quite silly, my dear. You understand dogs better than most people understand humans. We're certainly better than I understand people. What?
Where's the popcorn maker?
It's under the white sheet.
Okay.
Because it's the biggest box, I use that one as the first component of the setup, along with the yellow bin.
Okay.
Because I wanted to see what we could do as far as setup at a convention using cardboard boxes. So here's my suggestion. I'm going to have you grab one of the phones. We're going to take a picture of the setup. And then this will be an example of how we can set up conventions. And then, because the items are either free or a donation of $1 or a postage stamp, we don't have to have people to manage it.
Correct.
We can just